Hello everyone. Today we would like to present our paper with the title of ID-SMSA, Indonesian Stock Market Dataset for Sentiment Analysis. The authors are Dr. Sutoyo, S.Kom M.Sc, Dr. Esther Widhi Andangsari, M.Si PSI, myself, Jason Hartanto, and my friend, Timothy Liundi. Now we will take a brief overview of what is ID-SMSA. So ID-SMSA is the first Indonesian language dataset focusing on financial discussions about the Indonesian stock market. The dataset itself contains 3,288 tweets related to the top 10 largest market cap of IDX Composite as of March 2023. The dataset itself is collected from X, formerly known as Twitter, and we label each tweet as positive, neutral, or negative using a annotation guideline created by the authors and verified by the clinical psychology expert. Later, we use a voting system to ensure the quality and the consistency of the data.
This research originates from the thought of how social media can influence the stock market prices. Social media can affect how people receive information. One of the biggest social media is Twitter, or X. It gives the users the freedom of speech, thus any critics can be expressed with a tweet. It creates discussion that eventually affect the users' opinions. This brings concerns on how the users consume the stock market discussions on either good or a bad way, because predicting stock market prices is very challenging that investors have to really understand not only about the stock market itself, but the economy, the big investors, the related stock markets, and many more as consideration to predict future prices. All of the information about the topics mentioned are available in X. We focus on Indonesian stock market discussions because there are little to none Indonesian stock market datasets on stock market discussions. The publicly available datasets on stock market discussion are either in English or other foreign languages. With that being said, we want to perform sentiment analysis on Axis Indonesian stock market discussions. The dataset will help future research on Indonesian stock market and how the Indonesians discuss about certain stock markets, bringing useful insights, information, and reliability for analysis. This dataset is in Indonesian language using the top 10 biggest market caps in Indonesia as a keyword, with over 3,000 sentiment tweets varies in positive, negative, and neutral. This dataset can be utilized to analyze Indonesian stock market using natural language processing, and the dataset includes extra attributes and metadata to put more context in the data and possibly improve certain models that could utilize them. We introduce ID-SMSA, or Indonesian Stock Market Dataset for Sentiment Analysis, an Indonesian stock market dataset with collections of Axis discussions on Indonesian stock markets. We use the top 10 Indonesian biggest market caps as keywords. The data spans 3 years, from 12th of January 2021 to 1st of March 2024. It contains 3,288 Indonesian language tweets with 1,769 positives, 733 neutrals, and 786 negatives. The attributes in the dataset are tweet date, sentence, quote count, reply count, retweet count, favorite count, and sentiment, being the sentence and the sentiment with the main attributes. The dataset is annotated by 2 annotators labeled as positive, negative, and neutral, then reviewed using voting system to eliminate difference annotated at sentiment results.
Now we will take a look at experimental design, materials, and methods. So the first step is the data collection. So we collect the tweets or the data from X, and to make sure that the tweets that we gathered are related to Indonesian stock market, we use the stock codes of the top 10 largest market cap of the IDX composite as of March 2023. So the next step is the annotation guideline creation. So we create the annotation guideline for the annotation process. And what we do is, for each label, we create several criteria. For example, a positive label will have criteria such as contains praise for the company. An example sentence would be all in BBCA, good company performance and growth. For a negative criteria, for example, disappointment towards the company. An example sentence would be BBRI cumulative date is today, but the share price is the same. It shows disappointment because people expect that on cumulative date, the price will go up, but it did not. After that's done, the annotation guideline was reviewed by a clinical psychology expert to ensure consistency and validity. Next, we move to the annotation process. So annotators manually assign sentiment labels, positive, negative, and neutral, to each tweet, and we do this individually, so we do not see each other's annotation result to make sure that the result is not biased. And we do this based on the predefined annotation guideline. So we see that for each tweet, which criteria that it is matched. So after the annotation process is done, we continue to the voting system. So basically what it means is that we compare the result of the first annotators and the second annotators. And for each tweet, we compare and see which tweet that we agreed for the labels. So for example, if the first annotators label the tweet as positive, then if the second annotators also label it as positive, then we will take the final label as positive. But if it is different, then we will remove it from the dataset. After that is done, we move to the next step, which is sensitive information removal. So basically, we remove any sensitive information from the tweets, and we replace things like usernames, URLs, etc. with placeholders. So that's it for our presentation. Thank you.